Hello, welcome back to another Pixel Planet video. Today is episode 1 of building the styles area at my park. Today we're going to be doing some general theming and maybe starting the queue for the main ride. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is probably building some buildings for this area, as it is looking pretty empty in these gaps. So as with any building, of course, we'll be starting off with just a simple primitive. So bring that up that high so we can have support, and maybe a second smaller one down here. As this is a battlefield, it's going to be pretty run down. So we just add a rough texture to it. Probably going to add maybe some explosions where gaps in the walls and stuff like that. Add a small border onto the edges over here. Now one thing I did want to try was adding like a blaster bolt into the building. So I think if I use one of these neon light things, I could add some smoke effects. Now let's make that blue, a bit brighter like that. There we go, that's good colour. Just add a bit of smoke there. Now on the ceiling I'm going to add that classic Tatooine building look with that big sphere on top. I know this isn't Tatooine, but you still get that Star Wars vibe from it. That looks good. Maybe up here we could have some banners with some wedges on the bottom to make it look burnt or teared at the bottom. That looks good. Let's paint that maybe a dark grey colour, just so that red really shows up against it. Let's add that logo. And this is the only image panel that fits. Let's add in the ID. It's still over the edge, so what I am going to do is just make that banner a bit wider. Let's add some details to this side. Add these top ones. Over here, let's add a few details, maybe a door here. Just add an edge to that door. And let's just add that archway. Now that's done, we're going to add a terrace here. Let's just group that all together just so we can copy it to the other side. Let's just finish that up there. Now one thing I could do is add a couple of these just missing or flying in the air. Maybe they've been blown off by a blaster, something like that, like so. And to make it seem like a home, we could always add a couple of plotted plants. Let's just add those in there. Just out here I'm going to add a couple of pipes, maybe some of those water generators you see. Let's just round off these pipes with a couple of spheres, like so. And let's paint that all metal. And I was thinking maybe what we could do is add some TNT here, so when the ride does go past, it makes an explosion. So let's just close the ride so we can add that. Let's just test that, make sure that all looks good. So the ride comes out, down around there, comes round, and add a bit of ground here, and around the building, just like that. I'm going to add some blocks back here. Now what we could do is add some spheres here, so it looks like the sand's going up towards the building, giving it a nice edge and sort of into the terrain a bit. Yep, that's looking good, gives it a nice look to it. Now here I was going to make sort of a big artillery gun for the clones, but I think I might move it somewhere elsewhere because obviously this area is getting quite crowded with the speeder and the buildings. Now you'll notice how I've started this series with most of the area already built. Now I did start it before this channel and before I recorded that build battle, which is coming out soon. If you guys do go on to enjoy this video, please either like and subscribe, and I'll probably make another video. Now for this ride up here, I did have an idea. I'm probably going to swap it out for a drop tower and probably make it so it sort of comes out of this clone bunker. So I can add some cool doors up here. It goes up to see the park. Let's just remove this ride and add the borders here. Now the question is which drop tower. So we've got this one, sort of normal drop tower. There's this launch freefall, which would be quite a good idea. Or the roto drop, sounds good. So I think I'm going to go with the roto drop for this one, just as I might want to save just a normal drop tower for another ride in this park. Let's place it here. Now we don't want it too high because we sort of want some family rides in this area. I'd say here is good. Now let's change the colours. Let's add a bit of pop of colour, maybe with sort of dark red, just going up the side of this. Now let's change the colours for this vehicle. Add a white for the straights just to give it a bit of contrast. Just again those sandy colours. That looks good. I'm going to change the colour of the seats though. Something more like dark brown. Just adding in some oil barrels here. One in the air that could be like held by a crane arm. Let's add one of these spinning ones. Let's spec that like a brown oil. Let's add some walls and a roof. I have tried to recreate like a vault effect up there. Not sure if that works. I might change that to grey, a bit darker. Now let's move this edge out a bit here so it sort of blends in. Now I'm not sure I'm going to do these corner bits. I think I'll look for a wedge or something that can go there. There we go. Wedge corner. Let's just put that in there and there. There you go. That looks a lot better. Now I'm not sure what else to add up here. Maybe I could add like a radar dish. That would be cool. Let's just add a few details on the poles here. I think what we can do, it's a bit like how you make arches in this game. Try that but using a sphere. Hopefully that should work. Yeah, that looks like that works. Now what I'm thinking I can do, if I just quickly paint this, and let's group that all together. Now I could just keep it so it's sort of 2 layers, because at the moment the whole dish thing is being a bit difficult. So what I might do is, a bit like those things you see at airports, things that spin around, I might do something similar to that, like so. Details on the top, maybe use some props. Yeah, let's add some of these crates here, just a couple randomly on top. And we'll just change the colour on those, that same red. Now for down here, I was thinking maybe we have a crane arm holding that, and then you sort of enter that side, exit that side, and an operator's desk here, just to close off that bit so you don't see those entrances. So let's start off with this crane here. Now what I was thinking for this area, this little theme here, was that there's a droid factory right there, which would be quite cool to build, and then you come in here, which is like a secret clone facility near it. So let's try to add some like claws, almost grabbing it. Now for this bit I was thinking about one of those hydraulic pump things. I've added some pipes and details to the walls here, some nice uplighting and the crane and some more lights and this big fan here. Let's add a operator's desk. So I was thinking maybe have a lot of pipes and stuff. Let's just add the main structure here. And let's paint that. I'm using ice because it gives a nice shiny look. Now let's find some props to cover up those testing signs. Maybe some oil barrels. Let's take some of those crates from up here and just bring them down here. Now we do need quite a few because I also want to cover up that big testing sign. And it fits in nicely. I might just change that red to another grey just so it fits in a bit better. And over here is just some details. We can use some ladders as vents, and let's copy that over. I think that should be good. Now I'm going to use these uplighters again, just in between the holes here, and do it like that. Now I have got these pipes here, so what I might do is connect them over to here so it looks like they're actually doing something. Now what I might do on this side is add a second box that could have some cool dials on there, just to show that it really is pumping something around there. Add a tiny little needle and the other pointing another way, and we'll make those metal plates. Now I'm also going to add a bit of smoke here to this funnel thing, and maybe put that on poles because we have already got quite a lot of smoke here already. We do short burst, and let's change the colour of that smoke just to stand out a bit. At night that does look pretty good, the lights and everything. Up here let's start with the operator's desk, floor and the 2 side walls. And let's also put some of the front panels on here just so we can fit in some glass. Now one thing I do like to do is for my operator's desk is use these pieces, because I don't think anyone actually uses them. I like to use them as some shelves, especially upside down. They give that angled operator's desk look. Just add some detail on the side, we use some ladders. And we'll add a couple of buttons just here. Now let's change some of those colours because that red is a bit bright. And we'll add one little sequencer here. I add some TVs sort of in the corners looking down, so it looks like there's almost cameras monitoring the ride. Sometimes they're angled, there are often quite a few of them, and make sure they're supported to the wall. And what I'll do, add a tiny little red dot in the corner of those screens just to look like they're actually doing something. And I think what we're going to do is copy those over to the other side. We'll just add a quick mannequin in there. It's like a worker just operating the ride. Add in the glass, and let's add a small tint just to show there is actual glass there. I think that should be good. Just as quick details, I'm going to add little shelves behind him, move them down a bit so we can add some more stuff in them that you can actually see. So maybe some more TVs. just so you can actually see them when you're on the ride, because at the moment you will not be able to see any of this, so there's not much point in doing it, but it looks cool. And just like that, I think we're ready to add a roof, and we'll do some outside details. I'm going to do that, and then maybe add a couple of pipes or something going up, just like that. And we'll just add a couple of details to the side, and also add these pipes going into it. What I'll do, I'll connect these up like that, and then there'll be a little box there so I can actually bring them down and then in, and maybe just one running down all the way to the floor, a bit wider. Now as a detail, I'm going to use these pickaxes just as a cool vent. Let's add some colours to those. Let's just add a row of them, let's see if that looks good. Well, I think that's mostly it for this wall. I might add a few more things up there or there, just as something to put there. Let's add some of these quarter circles. As for this side, I have got an image panel. It's just a number 2 in a bunker kind of font. So let's put that over there, just load in that image. I think I am going to make it a bit smaller, so what I'll do is I'll take that and we'll just size it down. Just add a backing behind it so it doesn't look too out of place. And I think we'll add just a little uplighter, just like that. I'm going to add some walls to this area. Now I did kind of mess up a bit because this little ledge bit's in the way, and so what I'm going to try and do is try and make that look a bit better by aligning this wall with that one. And we're just going to bring that back so it lines up nicely with this bit. And let's make that thinner and bring that to the other side. Bring a floor across this area. Now, as I did say, this is going to be a droid facility, so I am going to add later on some more of the things you see in Attack of the Clones when they're going through that factory. First I'm going to get the very basics done, just get all of this done. And let's add a fence that goes round. Ooh, it's a little dark in here. Oh, that's a little dark. Let's turn that down. And let's just add some nice little details on the wall. And just to separate this from the other room, to make it clear that it's something different, I'm just going to add some different textures. I've made a little hole here. I'm going to dig down as if you're looking down into the factory. It's going to be quite deep down, probably as far as I can go. Now to show that it goes down quite a bit, let's add a bit of smoke. Let's put a light down here as well. Now up here, I'm just going to build one of the conveyor belts you see in the film. I'll add a picture on screen now. Now let's just add some connection points. Let's just add a dark one up here. Maybe change the material. Now on the conveyor belt they have pads which sort of hold the items in place. They're a bit yellow, so let's just add those. And we'll use this rusty colour for them. Now let's add maybe a small part or something. Paint that sort of the droidy colour. Add a few different tones. And copy it over to the other pads. I just made one of these little arches. We can copy those over. Just like that. Now another thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint this brown rock. And this little trough thing, maybe spitting lava. Let's just add some fire spinning down. Now just here I'm going to add a bucket that's full of lava. Or molten metal, whatever it is. Let's just bring that round. Now before we add the lava effect on top, let's just add smoke, maybe a bit of fire. Let's just turn that down a bit. Now I've added a bit of lighting, but however I will probably finish this off screen, ready for the next episode. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out for episode 2, and I'll see you in the next one.